Today I'm reacting to your wrestling hot takes. You already know that I do these videos on a weekly basis, so if you want to submit your hot take for next week's video, make sure you're following me on Twitter/X. The link is in the description below. You can submit your hot takes every Thursday when I ask for them. And hey, as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications if you're a wrestling fan. I am confident, I am certain that you're gonna fall in love with this channel because we give you daily wrestling content. I'm telling you fellas, we don't take any days off. Just ask my editor, who I have enslaved in a basement chained up to a radiator with no water or food. Let's read some stupid shit. Nia Jax is a refreshing return for the WWE. That comes from our friends at Nerdout, and I do love your optimism. And sure, you can make the argument that Nia Jax is a refreshing return to the WWE, just like I can make the argument that a nice warm glass of my own piss going down my throat is refreshing when I'm stuck in the middle of the ocean with no water to drink. Okay, relax. We said, Santi, no more Nia Jax hate, but look, I get it. She is somebody that the women's division, especially on Raw, desperately needed, but I feel like there had to have been better options out there than Nia Jax, and I think they got one of those options in Jade Cargill. I'm excited to see what they do with Nia Jax moving forward. I'm excited to see who she clashes with. I can't wait for her to actually have a meaningful feud, a meaningful match to see if she truly has improved in the ring so that she can prove me wrong, because I want to be proven wrong in this scenario. But okay, sure, I'll let you have this one. Nia Jax is refreshing mostly because we needed her. It was a stale desert at the women's division on Raw. Dragon Lee should get a major push after that banger of a match he displayed on Raw. He should be next in line for the NXT Championship. I'm gonna do you one better. Not only do I think he should get a push, because I do agree with you because he looked fantastic, but forget the NXT Championship. Let's just put this guy to the main roster. And I think that is the case. Not only did he have a match with Dominic Mysterio on Raw, and he absolutely stole the show. He was fantastic, and the fans absolutely fell in love with him. If that was your first time watching Dragon Lee, I couldn't have asked for a better first impression of Dragon Lee for you, because he looked fantastic. And in this upcoming episode of SmackDown, he has a matchup as well with Austin Theory. So I think everything is pointing to Dragon Lee being pushed, not just pushed, but pushed up to the main roster. And I think that Dragon Lee is going to be the real successor of Masked Lucha Libre in the WWE once Rey Mysterio leaves, because everyone else has failed miserably. But the thing is that Dragon Lee actually brings something unique to the table. He's not just this tiny little guy that can do flips and hurricanranas and whatnot. He is beefy. Like, he's a big dude that can do these amazing Lucha Libre style things. The only thing I ask is that, you know, you be patient with him as he gets better with his English promos. The WWE needs an off season to let top stars rest and let all the unknown superstars shine. This is a fascinating point of contention with wrestling fans because, yeah, I think it'd be nice if my favorite WWE superstars could take a break, rest up, and allow for those less utilized WWE superstars to get more shine. So I do agree with you. From a business perspective, this will never, ever happen. Because obviously, if you allow your top superstars to constantly disappear on a regular basis at the same time every year, then you can expect major revenue dips at that same time of the year. Although it's kind of a weird situation that we're in today, because it's always the biggest WWE superstars that seem to get the most time off anyway. Of course, look at Roman Reigns. I think he's the best example of all of this. But yeah, like, me as somebody that wants to see longevity with WWE superstars, I would love for them to get a yearly break, a break where they can focus on their mental health, their physical health, whatever it is that's going to make them better for the rest of their career. Because every other sport has an off season, and I know WWE in the proper definition of a sport isn't a sport per se, it's a performance, but man, the wear and tear on their body is that of a professional athlete. It's that of an NFL player, yet NFL players get 5 months off of the year and WWE superstars don't. So it's all the wear and tear without any of the time to sit back and relax and recover. So I agree with you. I just know that this will never happen. CM Punk never was and never will be the problem. Hey homie, I love CM Punk right here. I adore him. I'm I'm a big CM Punk apologist, but even we CM Punk apologists have to start connecting the dots. That are we really going to sit here and make the argument that it's both WWE and AEW that have a problem with CM Punk, that both of them wanted him out of their locker room? I don't think so. I think the only thing in common with all those situations is CM Punk. I think it's fair to make an assumption that CM Punk is a problematic individual as much as I love him. I'm willing to make those connections and understand that even the people that I love and enjoy to root for may not necessarily be the greatest humans once the lights are off. Congratulations to Cavier for winning the $1,200 giveaway and YSL Tony 56 for winning the $1,500 giveaway. And Capital One has been kind enough to do another giveaway, this time of $1,750 or a gaming PC plus a monitor. You can take the cash or the computer and monitor if you win. You can have one or the other. But to enter, it's super simple. You just have to go to the very top link in the description or in the pinned comments. Once you click it, it'll take you to this landing page here. Once you're here, click here to enter giveaway. Then make sure you put in your email and your username. Make sure you put in a valid email because that's where we're gonna contact you if you win. From there, it'll take you to the Capital One shopping extension landing page where you can install the extension with one click. And once the extension is installed onto your browser, you are in and you are set to go. You don't need to make an account with Capital One. Just make sure that the extension is fully installed and you're in. Thank you very much to Capital One Shopping for sponsoring this month's streams. Cena can never be the GOAT for the simple fact that he buried talent and hindered the growth and development of other superstars who should have made it big. Name me one superstar that should have made it big. And I know you're all gonna say the Nexus, and I'm telling you, all of those guys were just jobbers with a really nice coat of paint. They were going down the same road where they ended up anyway, with or without Cena. The Cena burial just made it quicker. And the concept of like, oh my God, look at all of the people that he beat in the early 2010s and in the late 2000s. Well, yeah, he's the top guy in the company. The WWE created its business around John Cena. They needed to have John Cena win. He's their guy. But just because you lose to John Cena doesn't mean that you get buried. And once he was on his way out of the WWE, I promise you that Cena put over more people than he ever, quote, buried. And I'm telling you, the Nexus was going down the same path with or without Cena. The only star in there was Wade Barrett. That's it. Everyone else was just a jobber with a nice coat of paint, like I said. AEW, from a pure wrestling standpoint, is much better than the WWE. The level of technical wrestling that is on display is much higher than most WWE matches. The only real difference is that AEW has a much harder time creating long, well thought out storylines, which is where WWE excels. Like, I guess inherently that isn't correct, but like if you just want to focus on one aspect of the entire show that is professional wrestling as opposed to the entire sum of its parts, then you're being very narrow-minded, because we have to look at everything. We have to look at showmanship. We have to look at production. We have to look at storylines. We have to look at promos when we look at professional wrestling, because if we just look at the in-ring work, then we're talking about two entirely different products. Because professional wrestling isn't just what's happening in the ring, it's everything. It's everything that encompasses the show. So sure, if you want to focus on just the pure wrestling technical things that are happening in the ring, by all means, but you're being far too narrow-minded. Edge potentially signing with AEW won't do much for AEW. His recent run in the WWE has been great, but one look at TV numbers whenever he's on shows will show you that he's not a big draw. I think it would be a bad decision by AEW to sign him at this stage in his career. Okay, so if WWE was willing to sign him, even though he isn't this giant draw, then why shouldn't AEW? Here's the thing, Edge was never the draw. He was never the guy moving ticket sales. He was a huge integral part of the entire show, but he wasn't the needle mover for the WWE ever. So no one's expecting him to be the needle mover for AEW. People are expecting him to help legitimize AEW in the eyes of the wider wrestling fans, and also to help create dream matches that we never thought were possible. So I don't think the expectation for AEW signing Edge would be for him to move the needle and create insane amount of ratings in the first place. After Jade Cargill joining, Ricky Starks will be the next to follow and will be one of the best heels the company has ever seen. Heel or face? Shit, yeah, man. I want to see Ricky Starks in the WWE. That guy is so good. He is arguably my favorite AEW guy that hasn't been in the WWE before, like as a regular character. I don't know if he's had time in like developmental or the PC or anything of the sort, but I'm just saying, Ricky Ricky Starks, I see him as like an AEW OG, at least for me. And out of all those AEW OGs, he's my favorite. And I would love to see him in the WWE. And he's so fantastic in the ring. And he's already shown that he's got great range as both a babyface and a heel. So this guy's money. Mace and Mansoor shouldn't have gotten fired. They were doing good with what they were given. And I think they would have been sent to NXT at least. Yeah, this was a bit of a frustrating release because like what else could you have asked of these guys? You gave them what you wanted them to do. They knocked it out of the park. Like, I don't know what else they could have done. They did everything right. They did everything that they were told and they were still fired. I don't know if NXT was necessarily the right choice. I think that they were perfectly fine being on the main roster, but what else were they expecting out of these guys? Like, what could they have possibly done to not be fired? That's the thing. It was like destiny, I guess. Like, they were just meant to be fired because it didn't matter what they did, but they were fantastic with what they were given. Paul Heyman should retire after this Roman Reigns story, or Paul should walk away from Roman when he starts to lose it all. Don't think he can top his career with Roman. Look, we all thought that the peak of Paul Heyman was Brock Lesnar, and then he found yet another peak. Never doubt Paul Heyman. That is something that I have learned. Now, whether or not he does find something better, maybe that is up for debate, but even if he doesn't, he'll still find great talent to be able to nurture and help get over. I'm not saying he shouldn't retire. It's ultimately his choice, but there's still plenty for him to be able to do even after the Roman Reigns storyline, in my opinion. Jade Cargill in WWE will hopefully fix up the women's division, and I have a feeling she'll probably get the Cody Rhodes treatment. I mean, she looks like she's in line to get the Cody Rhodes treatment. A lot of people initially thought that she was going to be going to NXT, but everything to me is pointing that they're putting her on the main roster and they're going to be strapping a rocket to her back and shooting her to the moon. I think she's going right to the women's main event scene. I don't necessarily know what you mean by fix up the women's division. I don't know how one individual can do that because ultimately it comes down to writing, because the WWE women's division has amazing talent that is being poorly written for and poorly booked. So it's not a lack of talent. So adding another piece of great talent like Jade Cargill isn't what's going to fix the division. It's, you know, the writers getting their heads out of their asses and giving the women something actually meaningful to do on weekly television. But I do think that she's going to get the superstar Cody Rhodes treatment because I think they're going to use her as a beacon, as a example of what other AEW talent can expect should they were to forego and leave AEW and come to the WWE. So I think they're going to use her as an example to try and entice other AEW megastars to come over to the WWE. Akira Tozawa should get a world title run. Why would you say something so brave yet controversial? The power of Tozawa. Okay, yeah, I want to see it, man. Tozawa's awesome. Nia Jax is the best female wrestler, period. The way she elevates her opponents and teaches them is amazing. Very talented wrestler. What? 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 No hate towards AEW. I'm actually rooting for them to succeed because it's best for business, but Jade signing with the WWE is bigger than Edge AEW debut if he does. I guess like in the long scheme of things, like if we're looking at long term, then yeah, bringing over Jade Cargill I think is definitely the bigger deal because Jade Cargill is the one that has, you know, a decade plus left of her career. Meanwhile, Edge doesn't. He might have another year in him. So I think it is a bigger coup to be able to take Jade Cargill than it is to win Edge, but still Edge is going to generate a tremendous amount of headlines. I think it was a big mistake for AEW to allow one of their big homegrown talents to leave AEW for the WWE. I think that was a huge mistake. John Cena's theme is one of the main reasons he is where he is. So you're telling me that he is like considered one of the greatest of all time because of his entrance theme? I mean, like, dude, I don't even know like what to say because I like his entrance theme is pretty good, but I don't think that's the reason why he is where he is. AJ Styles' best WWE match was against Shane McMahon WrestleMania 33. False. All three of his John Cena matches were better. But that match that you were referencing, the Shane McMahon WrestleMania 33, was awesome. Bryan Danielson should return to the WWE for one more run and have a banger with Ilya Dragunov. That's a great matchup for him to have in the WWE, but there's some other ones that I'd like to see as well. In Daniel Bryan's retirement tour, if there ever is one, I would love for him to make a 6-month stop in the WWE or something I think it would be wrong for him to not have one more crack in the WWE so that we can get some amazing matches that, you know, before he retires. So sure, give me Ilya Dragunov versus Danielson, because that would be fucking fire. The Authority storyline is the best storyline of all time in any wrestling company. I mean, it had like one good portion of the storyline, which was the whole Dolph Ziggler thing, because the Daniel Bryan Authority storyline, like, that was like completely accidental. Like, that was fully fan driven as opposed to the WWE driving it, because they were going to take that in a completely different route, a route that was just bound to be terrible. But no, I highly disagree that the Authority storyline is the best storyline of all time in any wrestling company. We'd have to look at Austin versus McMahon. We have to look at the Bloodline storyline. There's a handful that I would put well above the Authority storyline. Bobby Lashley is the best technical wrestler in the WWE right now. He isn't even a technical wrestler. What the fuck are these hot takes this week? The man is literally a powerhouse that just chucks people around. Like, do I need to define what a technical wrestler is? You need to look at like a Daniel Bryan, Zack Sabre Jr., like Kurt Angle. There's so many examples of what a technical wrestler is, and I promise you, Bobby Lashley isn't one of them. WrestleMania 27 is not as bad as everyone says it is. Sure, there were some rough points, but there were some banger matches too that get overshadowed by the bad stuff. There were two good matches at WrestleMania 27. Outside of those two matches, which were of course The Undertaker versus Triple H and Randy Orton versus CM Punk, this WrestleMania is dog shit. It is the worst WrestleMania that I've ever seen. R-Truth heel run in 2011, he should have won that WWE championship. No. Like, just no. I liked R-Truth, and I did like heel R-Truth, but not to win the WWE championship. By the way, if we give R-Truth the WWE championship in that run in 2011, we don't get CM Punk. We don't get the Summer of Punk. We don't get all the awesome stuff that happened because R-Truth didn't win the WWE championship. So no, bad take, take it back. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this Hot Takes video. Subscribe and get out of here.